Sometimes we think we really need certain things, and when you meet people who are poor and happy, it makes you question again, wait, what do I really need for happiness when I go back home? You can't love poor people and not be transformed yourself, because Christ himself made himself poor. My name is Father Keith O'Hare. I'm a priest in the Diocese of Arlington, Virginia, and I work now as a pastor here in Bánica, in the rural part of the Dominican Republic.
Welcome to San Jose Parish. This is the mission of Pedro Santana. This is one of our two parishes that the Diocese of Arlington supports here in the Dominican Republic. I'm the pastor, Father Christopher Murphy. I've been here serving this mission for nearly 6 years.
The mission here in Bánica was a mission adopted by the Diocese of Arlington in 1991. It consists of 10,000 people dispersed in about 18 different communities. It's very much a team effort. We're very blessed to have not just two priests here, of course, but also a team of missionaries. They truly are missionaries coming to serve the people. The Diocese of Arlington generously provides two priests here in the mission of Bánica. There's actually two main towns, Bánica and Pedro Santana. And that's serving a total of over 10,000 people. I should say 10,000 poor people. The people of Bánica and the different communities of the parish live certainly on the edge of extreme poverty. Their basic needs are a daily struggle for basic nutrition, to eat, to survive, really. Bánica is an opportunity for young adults to serve in a mission. It's not half a world away. It's a region away for sure, and it seems like a world away, but it is a place that is certainly safe, first of all, and secondly, working in conjunction with priests from the Diocese of Arlington. Young adults who have recently graduated from college very often have a passion for doing something great, especially for the poor and especially in Christ's name. So it is a beautiful gift to have here in Bánica. It's a group who are full of faith, full of hope, and full of love. And they can come to Bánica anywhere from 6 months to 2 years, and they will be able to use all their talents. Some of them are teaching art, some of them are teaching music. They're all teaching by example.
There's this bond, and it really is, it's like you're cemented together with your work here in Bánica because it is so meaningful and so fruitful, and it's your whole body, soul working together for the community here.
There's plenty that you can do, and it's a whole learning experience. I mean, you'll be able to contribute little by little, and it's just amazing, like, after a few months, just seeing how much more you're able to do.
If anything, this place will help you grow in so many different ways, especially spiritually. Our life is a constant prayer, and not only do we just pray mentally, but we live it. I think this is the time of my life.
The young adult volunteers work principally with youth. So for example, they give religious education classes. They have a teenage Bible study for girls, youth sport activities. Some of the young adult guys direct. They also direct the youth group for the high school students in one of the communities, because certainly the formation of the youth is a formation that lasts a lifetime.
In terms of anything in the classroom or any kind of formal school setting, I had no experience whatsoever, and I went into it, and I've really enjoyed it. It's been a challenge, very much a challenge, but it's been a wonderful learning experience, and you know, it's one of those talents that you didn't know you had, and you discover it here in Bánica, which is one of the great things about Bánica. You discover all these things about yourself that you never would have pictured yourself doing, thought you would have hated, and then you come here and do it, and you're like, wow, like, you know, this is something you can do, and you can be a bigger help then.
So right now we are in Los Mamisos, which is about a 30-minute drive from Bánica. It's about 15 minutes on a paved road and then 15 minutes on a dirt / very partially paved road. And this is a public school here. I think it's probably a big school for something this remote. The kids travel varying distances to get here, and some of them have quite a ways to walk. I would guess like at least 45-minute walks for some of them.
Education here is very poor, unfortunately, not just materially, but also the quality of education. So there's a high level of illiteracy through generous benefactors. We're very fortunate to have an excellent parish school. The parish school was founded because the education in this region is just of such a low quality. It's currently educating 210 children. And these children, I'm proud to say, can read. And unfortunately, I have to say that because a lot of the children in this area can't. So we're very blessed to have a Catholic school that's working, that's truly educating, that's enlightening the mind for the sake of their development in this world and for their understanding of the next as well.
The parish school over the last few years has gotten, from what I understand, some of the highest marks in the country in their exams that all the schools take every year.
Ekpertise is the director at the colegio here, the parish school, and he and his wife are my host parents.
Mi nombre es Ekfrede Jacobi Gómez Ramírez. Sí, entonces comenzamos a trabajar un día 5 de octubre. Hace ya van a ser 6 años. O sea, los voluntarios norteamericanos, por ejemplo, ellos, aparte de las labores que desempeñan en la iglesia, o sea, labores eclesiales, van y desempeñan una labor también educativa. Dentro del valor educativo, ya todos tenemos la conciencia de que, por ejemplo, hablar inglés significa poder comunicarse con el mundo entero.
So right now we're in the community that's called Mamoncito. We're visiting this one neighborhood within Mamoncito. The folks here tell me that about 25, 30 people live in these about 4 houses here, 4 or 5 houses. And what's of interest to us is that they're lacking something very basic, something we take for granted, which is a bathroom, you know. Here, it's an outhouse. It certainly wouldn't be inside the house. We're very fortunate to have American youth groups come down for service projects, somewhere between 7 and 10 days to serve the local communities. Beautiful thing is, though, they're not going to make these bathrooms for them. They're going to make these bathrooms with them. So we look for young men especially that can lend a hand so they can take pride in improving the situation of their community.
So building one of these toilets takes, I think, 4 or 5 guys about a week to do from the start to finish. A group that comes down to make they dig a hole that's big enough and a structure that's strong enough that the toilet will last on average about 20 years or so. I'll tell you what, the communities that that particular group has served is never going to forget them for, well, at least be 20 years before they forget them.
One of the most basic things of life is our home. And here people live in physically poor structures. When it rains, that structure doesn't hold up very well. Some of them don't even have cement floors, so literally living on dirt floors in their homes. You know, their housing is very basic. You know, this is a mud and stick structure, holding up, I suppose, just because the mud dries in a certain way. The roof is made of some kind of, you know, metal, sheets of metal they look decent, but certainly this is not what we consider as worthy as it should be for what they can live in.
They sleep on dirt floors, or they share a small room like a family of 7, or they cook in the fire. It's heartbreaking.
The church is very much interested in improving the housing of the people. A home here, compared to back home in the United States, is pennies. What people would spend, say $3,000 to improve their home back home, builds a home for people here. Recently, there was a youth group that visited Bánica to do a service project, and one of the chaperones heard a comment that it costs about $3,000 to build a home here in Bánica. Months later, he let me know that he had some additional funds available, so he sent the $3,000. We were able to build a home for a 24-year-old young woman who is handicapped, has no use of her legs, and would never be able to work. And now she and her little brother, who take care of her, have a very comfortable, worthy place to live. And it will last for many, many years, the home that the church was able to build for her. The average daily wage for a worker in Bánica, which would be a farming wage, is 300 pesos a day when you can find a job like that. That translates into $9 a day. For that reason, college is out of reach for most of the students in this area. Those who work hard, graduate from high school, most of them are unable to afford college. College is going to run here only about $1,000 a year, 1,000 US dollars, but that is far beyond 35,000 pesos, is far beyond what many students can acquire by way of work. So the donations that we receive through the Diocese of Arlington, they come directly here. It's very, very direct, very beautiful thing. So people can really know when they give, what they give really goes. And it goes to the people that I meet and serve every day.
Yeah, I really had no idea what I was going to be doing. It was kind of just like stepping out and just hoping you hit. But I hit, and I'm here, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm very happy I did. And my friend was like, "You're not going to like it for the first 2 weeks. You're going to hate it." Even with the language difficulties at the beginning, communicating, I liked it from the very start. So if you don't know Spanish, don't worry. You can teach English. You can definitely find a way to help here. You realize not having stuff doesn't make happiness or sadness. I remember thinking about if I want to go here and being like, oh, what should I do? But at the end of the day, when your trip is done, you really accomplished something. You gave 6 months of your life to God. I just completely gave all to God for 6 months. Went to a third world country, worked for the church. That's just something I did.
My name is Tom Brock. I'm here in Bánica, about a half a mile from the parish of San Francisco in the parish center. I've been here about 1.5 years now. My job here is to maintain the center and to host groups when they come, to make sure that all their needs are taken care of, to make sure that they get a ride to and from the airport.
I'm Peter Durr, and I'm on the board of directors of Medical Missionaries. And I'm from Northern Virginia, which is where the Medical Missionaries began and is still headquartered. The parish of St. Francis Diocese is very important to our mission. It's where our mission began, and it's a place that is an anchor for us.
They have a clinic in Tomasee, Katy. It's about 2.5 hours from here, and we're kind of like a staging point for them. They fly into the capital, they come here, spend the night after a 6 or 7 hour drive. In the morning we get them up, give them breakfast, and ship them on to the clinic.
The group has been coming back every year, to the point where we now send 4 or 5 medical teams a year from the United States to Bánica, Pedro Santana, and Tomasee. And these are medical doctors, midwives, nurses, nurses' assistants, laboratory technicians, and so on. We send sea containers of materials, of food, of clothing, of medical supplies, of hospital beds, examining tables, down through Santo Domingo and bring them here to the El Centro, and we bring them out to wherever they're needed in the region.
The second group, or a second type of group that comes down here, is young folks. And during spring break, we get several colleges that come down to spend a week here in Bánica or in the neighboring town doing projects locally. There are probably 40 little chapels down here that have been painted by youth from Virginia. It's a wonderful thing.
When people give generously, financially to the mission of Bánica, they don't get to see with their own eyes who they help. It is my privilege as the priest here in the mission to see it with my own eyes. So when a mother comes who's sick and literally can't breastfeed her child, she asks for milk from the church, I see how that support makes that possible. We can help that person. When a family needs to repair the door in their home so that it's safe for their children, I get to see who's being helped. When a family wants to send their child to a Catholic school that can truly educate their child so they can at least read, but they can't afford $9 a month for tuition, I get to see that family that gets helped.
People here ask for so many services from the church that without those donations, they couldn't happen.
Donors make everything that happens here possible.
Entonces, todo lo que tenemos es gracias a donaciones que han hecho, porque acá en nuestro país no hemos encontrado ninguna autoridad, ninguna institución que nos ayude. Estamos haciendo esto gracias a que ustedes nuestros sacerdotes se dirigen hacia los Estados Unidos y personas caritativas, pues entonces ven la importancia que tiene el proyecto y mandan entonces donaciones para esto. Entonces así hemos comenzado a funcionar desde el principio.
So the money is a beautiful gift supporting their spiritual needs, their temporal needs, and most especially I think their educational needs. And so I am, on behalf of so many, grateful for the financial support which makes possible so many blessings for so many people here in Bánica.
If you have that, if you feel like you're hearing the call, if you hear that in your heart, in your mind, for me, I thought, I really think I want to do this. I really feel like I want to be a missionary. And if you're called to work in some way for God, how can you go wrong?
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you just realize that, you are doing a good thing, and you're working ultimately for God. So, I mean, you've got the best boss in the world.
Community is my favorite thing about Bánica, and that means a lot of different things, like the community of us 6 volunteers plus the 2 priests, and just our closeness and how they function really as fathers down here because we're without our parents down here.
Bánica, and the favorite thing is how much you have to open and give of yourself to people here. So it's like that idea of opening your heart to the community here and to the people here. Even though it's hard, if you push past it, you're actually going to be going further because you're forcing yourself to give more when it's harder.
I would say this is the perfect place to come if you've gone lukewarm in your faith or have grown cold in your faith, because we're just completely saturated in the sacraments here.
A lot of us didn't know anyone here before coming out, so we were definitely stepping out of this well-established comfort bubble. We've become great friends. So we're definitely going to take this experience not only home with ourselves, but with each other as well.